If you would turn with me to Mark chapter 13, we'll be looking at the first 23 verses. Mark 13, 1 through 23. And of course, I know that everyone who's read this passage has it all figured out. There's a popularity of prophecy in our world. In fact, if you were to go even to a Christian bookstore, you'd see a prophecy section. I wouldn't recommend you necessarily, depending on the bookstore, purchase those books. But there are conferences, there are movies and popular culture, and of course there have been many cults founded on the idea of predictive prophecy. This section in Mark contains prophecy and predictions. It is actually the longest discourse of Jesus recorded in the entire book. And we find a parallel in both Matthew and in Luke. And it is also the most hotly debated of all the texts in the book of Mark. So I want to ask you a question. Is this passage really about a particular eschatological persuasion? In other words, is this text so that we can figure out whether you're pre-mill, post-mill, preterist, historical, or futurist? Or all of the categories under each of those? Or is it about how to live with impending judgment to come? I think that's what the focus is of this chapter. As we look at the first 23 verses, it actually goes through verse 37, but we'll pick up that portion next week, 24 through 37, the first 23 verses of Mark 13. And as Jesus came out of the temple, one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher,